Chosen one, there are things you once believed to be absolute truths that were, in reality, conclusions formed by fear, pain, and the way other people viewed life. Therefore, today I invite you to calmly reconsider the path you are walking. This is not a command meant to drive you into panic, nor is it a final opportunity that will vanish if you do not respond immediately. I do not use fear to force you to pay attention. Archangel Michael, the faithful messenger, protector, and executor of my will, stands as an image reminding you that you possess enough courage to face the truth, even when that truth requires you to change a belief you have held for many years. But I am speaking directly to you now. Healthy correction does not begin in panic. It begins when you are humble enough to admit that you may have misunderstood, wise enough to learn again, and steady enough to follow what is more truthful. Some of the things you were taught as a child have become automatic voices within your mind. You were taught that your worth depended on achievement, so you no longer know how to rest without feeling guilty. You were taught that you had to please everyone in order to be loved, so you often remained silent about the things that hurt you. You were taught that strong people must never cry, become tired, or ask for help, so you carried your burdens alone until you were nearly exhausted. Perhaps those who passed these beliefs down to you were merely repeating what they themselves had received. They may not have intended to hurt you, but something passed through many generations can still be mistaken and may still need to change. I do not want you to despise the past or reject everything you were ever taught. There are precious values that have supported you: loyalty, diligence, responsibility, and concern for others. Yet sometimes a good value is carried so far that it loses its balance. Diligence becomes exhaustion. Sacrifice becomes self-abandonment. Humility becomes self-belittlement. Forgiveness becomes tolerating wrongdoing again and again. Loyalty becomes clinging to a place that is no longer safe. I invite you to preserve what is good while removing the distortions that have caused you pain. The discomfort that arises when an old belief is challenged does not prove that what you are hearing is necessarily true. But neither does it mean you should reject it immediately. Pause and examine it. Are you uncomfortable because the truth is touching something that needs correction, or because someone is trying to impose upon, judge, or manipulate you? Healthy guidance allows you to ask questions, seek more information, and think with a clear mind. Manipulation often tells you that you must believe immediately, act immediately, and never question anything. I am not afraid of your questions. Truth is not so fragile that it collapses when it is tested. You are not chosen to hear a secret that makes you superior to others. I do not lift you up by pushing other people down. When you discover something new, do not quickly assume that those who do not yet understand are lacking in wisdom. Each person has their own process, experiences, and questions. Genuine understanding will make you humbler, more patient, and more compassionate. It will not make you arrogant, judgmental, or convinced that you possess every answer. What you learn only has value when it helps you live more kindly, take greater responsibility, and listen to others more deeply. Your awareness may be expanding, but that does not mean you are seeing mysteries that everyone around you is unable to perceive. Sometimes expansion simply means beginning to recognize patterns you previously overlooked. You notice that whenever you fear abandonment, you pursue people who do not respect you. You recognize that you often say yes and then quietly become resentful because you were afraid to say no. You understand that many of your decisions did not arise from what you truly desired, but from the need to prove your worth. Such realizations may not appear spectacular, but they can profoundly transform your entire life. You have carried many quiet hopes. You have hoped that one day your work would become stable, that a good relationship would appear, that conflict within your family would lessen, or that your heart would finally become lighter than the memories of the past. Hope is precious, but do not turn it into the belief that every desire is rushing toward you within some hidden deadline. Some of what you hope for will become reality, some will change its form, and some you will need to release. I do not want you to build your faith upon promises that everything will rapidly fall into place. I want you to build your life upon foundations that can remain firm even when results arrive slowly or differently from what you once imagined. True transformation is not merely thinking more positively. You may repeat countless encouraging statements and still continue living within the same cycle. Deep change requires you to examine how you use your time, how you respond when you are hurt, whom you choose to trust, and whether you accept responsibility for consequences. It may require you to end a habit, learn a skill, apologize to someone, or seek professional support. At times, you may need to release the image of yourself as someone who is always right. You may have to admit that you remained too long, spent without wisdom, or used silence as a form of punishment. Recognizing these things does not make you terrible. It opens the possibility of making a different choice. I do not require you to remain alert every second, as though one moment of distraction could make every good thing disappear. Living in constant vigilance will exhaust you and make you see danger everywhere. You need awareness, but you also need rest. Awareness means observing real signs, listening to your emotions without allowing them to control you, and recognizing when a situation needs closer examination. Awareness is not decoding every coincidence, distrusting everyone, or believing that one small choice can destroy your entire future. Doubt does not always come with a price. Some doubt arises from fear, but another kind of doubt invites you to verify what you are being told. When someone makes a great promise, caution may protect you. When an opportunity demands an immediate decision, without allowing you to read carefully, your questions are necessary. When a message tells you to press like, subscribe, or comment with a number in order to receive confirmation, understand that no action on a screen can determine your closeness to me. You do not need to send heaven a signal through the press of a button. I know your heart before any words are ever written. There is no secret number with the power to open a door for you. Numbers may help you remember, organize, or symbolize a meaning, but do not give them authority they do not possess. You do not need to write a number in order to be protected, heard, or regarded as ready. If interacting with something brings you joy and you freely choose to do so, you may. But do not act out of fear that you will miss something good, because my love is not distributed through conditions such as these. You also do not need to remain until the end of a message to prove that you belong to a group of people who are supposedly destined for something special. You have the right to stop, examine the source, think carefully, and return to the real responsibilities of your life. A good message will respect that freedom. It will not make you feel guilty for leaving, threaten that you will understand too late, or make you dependent upon the next message. Healthy guidance helps you mature into a responsible life. It does not make you increasingly afraid to make decisions without another person directing you. What requires your attention is not a mysterious window of opportunity, but the things already clear before you. Is there a problem you have been delaying? Is there a conversation that needs to take place calmly? Is there a physical, financial, or emotional condition for which you know you need help? Do not use the endless search for new messages as a way to avoid action. Many people enjoy the feeling of encouragement, but fear the slow work of genuine change. I invite you to move from emotion into responsibility, from brief excitement into lasting faithfulness. Do not expect everything to fall perfectly into place faster than you imagined. Some things will progress quickly, but many things require time. A habit formed over many years does not disappear overnight. A wounded relationship is not healed by one conversation. Lost trust must be rebuilt through many consistent actions. New skills require practice, and a stable financial life requires discipline. Slowness does not make the process less sacred. Some of the deepest work is accomplished quietly, through many days in which you choose what is right, without seeing a clear result. When movement appears, examine its quality. Are you moving toward peace, or merely running away from discomfort? Are you changing because you understand what is right, or because you want to prove something to someone? A new job may be an opportunity, but it may also become a way of escaping a problem you will carry into every other place. A new relationship may be beautiful, but it may also become another place in which you repeat old reactions. I do not want you to confuse movement with maturity. Changing your location does not necessarily mean you have changed your way of living, my beloved child. When fear and hope rise together within you, it is often a sign that you are standing before a change that requires you to leave what is familiar. I know you want to move forward, yet another part of you wants everything to remain unchanged, because what is familiar, even when it is no longer good, still feels predictable. Archangel Michael, the faithful messenger, protector, and executor of my will, stands as an image reminding you that courage does not mean the absence of fear. It means refusing to give fear the right to decide. But I am speaking directly to you now. You do not need to rush forward in panic, nor must you remain still until every doubt disappears. Walk with awareness, because maturity always begins when you accept that something new will require you to release part of your old comfort. You have lived long enough to know that not everything familiar deserves to be preserved. Some habits once helped you survive a difficult season, yet now they limit you. Some relationships once gave you a sense of belonging, but over time they caused you to become silent. Make yourself smaller and question your own worth. Some goals were pursued only because the people around you regarded them as success, while within you there was a growing emptiness. When you begin seeing these things, uneasiness appears. You may think you are losing direction, when perhaps you are simply realizing that your old direction is no longer suitable. I do not want you to treat every discomfort as a call to act immediately. Sometimes discomfort simply reveals that you need rest, more information, or healing for something that has not been cared for. But there are also times when you have thought long enough, seen the problem clearly enough, and already know the next step, yet you do not want to pay its cost. You know you need to speak honestly, but you fear disappointing someone. You know you need to leave a cycle, but you fear the emptiness that may follow. You know you need to begin learning again, start again, or ask for help, but your pride does not want to admit that you do not know everything. In such moments, you do not need another sign. You need courage. You once believed preparation was only the stage before your real life began. You waited for a position, a person, a resource, or the right moment before allowing yourself to live with purpose. But my beloved child, life is not a waiting room. Ordinary days are shaping you. The way you handle a small disappointment prepares you for greater responsibility. The way you speak when you are disrespected reveals what is ruling within you. The way you use money, time, and words today will determine whether you are able to preserve good things when they arrive. Not every delay is disobedience. Some decisions require careful thought, some wounds require care, and some paths must be examined before you enter them. I do not pressure you to use haste as proof of faith. Yet careful consideration can become a shelter for fear when you repeatedly analyze the same issue without ever taking action. Ask yourself honestly, are you waiting for greater clarity, or are you waiting for responsibility to become comfortable? Are you seeking wisdom, or are you trying to postpone a conversation that cannot be avoided forever? Once you know what is right, one small step is often better than a perfect plan that exists only in your thoughts. If you know your health needs attention, make the first appointment. If you know your finances are in disorder, begin by writing down what you currently have. If you know someone repeatedly hurts you, clearly establish a boundary or seek support to leave safely. If you know you have hurt someone, apologize without making excuses. These actions may not feel spectacular, but they bring your life back into alignment. I know you often hope that a dramatic change will arrive and arrange everything on your behalf. You want a door to open, the road to become clear, and every doubt to disappear immediately. But many doors only open after you choose to knock. Many paths become visible only after the first step, and many fears grow smaller only after you act. You do not need to wait until you feel completely ready. Readiness is often formed while you are beginning. The world around you may change rapidly, but you do not have to chase every movement. Not every trend deserves your participation. Not every opportunity is suitable for you, and not every loud voice carries truth. The faster everything moves, the more you need a firm foundation. Know which values you refuse to exchange. Preserve honesty, even when dishonesty appears to offer a quicker advantage. Preserve kindness, even when coldness is considered a form of strength. Protect your time of rest, even when the culture around you glorifies exhaustion. A person who does not know what truly matters will easily be carried away by every wind. You cannot control everything that is changing, but you can choose the way you remain present. You can react in panic, or you can pause, gather information, and decide according to truth. You can allow fear to make you cling to the old, or you can carry the lesson with you and enter something new with clear boundaries. You can chase applause, or you can build a meaningful life even when no one is watching. This is the measure of power I have placed in your hands. Do not believe that everyone around you is entirely dependent upon a single choice you make. You have influence, but you are not responsible for saving everyone. The way you live may inspire your family, your colleagues, or younger people who are watching. Yet they still possess their own choices. You do not need to force yourself to become perfect, because you fear that one mistake will destroy another person's future. Take responsibility for what has been entrusted to you, but do not carry the burden of decisions that belong to someone else. What you do may influence many generations in very simple ways. When you learn to apologize, the children in your home discover that adults can also admit when they are wrong. When you establish boundaries without insulting anyone, others learn that love does not mean tolerating everything. When you seek help instead of hiding, you break the belief that hardship must be carried alone. When you stop using shame to force yourself forward, you create a new atmosphere for those who come after you. This is how genuine change spreads. I want you to distinguish between a true calling and emotional pressure. A genuine calling may make you uncomfortable, but it still respects your freedom, encourages you to verify what you are hearing, and directs you toward responsibility. Emotional pressure makes you fear that everything will be lost unless you act immediately. It makes you feel compelled to prove yourself, rush, and ignore your questions. I do not lead you through such manipulation. Something good may be urgent, but it will not deprive you of clear judgment. Fear often wants to control every outcome before you take a step. It asks, what if you fail? What if you are rejected? What if others do not understand? You cannot answer every one of these questions. You can only prepare within your ability, choose what is consistent with your values, and accept that part of the future remains unknown. Courage is not certainty about the outcome. It is faithfulness to what is right, even when the outcome is not guaranteed. Doubt is not always an enemy that must be completely removed. One kind of doubt helps you recognize what should be examined. It causes you to read a commitment carefully, observe whether a person is consistent, and consider the consequences before deciding. But another kind of old doubt repeats again and again that you are incapable, that every beginning will fail, and that you are unworthy of anything healthy. That voice does not make you wiser. It only keeps you small. Learn to recognize the difference. When the old voice tells you that you cannot do something, do not spend the entire day arguing with it. Do one small thing that proves you are learning. When it tells you that you will be rejected, remember that one rejection is not a sentence upon your entire life. When it tells you that you always fail, remember the times you rose again. When it tells you it is too late, begin with the time you still possess. Responsible action is a far stronger answer than endless affirmations. You have spent much time pursuing visible victories. You once thought that more money, greater recognition, a higher position, or the admiration of more people would fill the emptiness within you. These things are not inherently wrong. Resources can help you care for your family. A position can broaden your influence, and recognition can offer encouragement. But when they become your only measure of worth, you will never feel that you have enough. Every milestone you reach will simply create another milestone you feel compelled to conquer. Applause can feel warm, but it fades quickly. If you build your identity upon the response of the crowd, you will continually reshape yourself in order to preserve attention. You will say what others want to hear, choose what creates the greatest impression, and avoid doing good things that no one sees. Gradually, you will become a stranger to yourself. I do not want you to reject every achievement. I want you to place achievement in its proper position. Success is a tool, not a master. It must serve what is good and must not be allowed to take away your peace, health, and precious relationships. Ask yourself what remains when the applause stops. Do you keep your promises? Do you know how to admit when you are wrong? Do you treat kindly those who offer you no advantage? Can you rest without feeling useless? Do you possess enough peace to rejoice in another person's success? These questions reach deeper than every title. They reveal whether your life is being built upon a foundation or merely upon an image. Your mission does not necessarily have to be an extraordinary occupation or a role that makes you widely known. It may be living honestly in a place where dishonesty is considered normal. It may be raising children without passing down old patterns of harm. It may be using your abilities to meet a genuine need, care for vulnerable people, or create something beautiful. It may be becoming the person who brings calm into a family filled with tension. A purposeful life does not always need to stand beneath the lights of a stage. You once confused accumulation with progress. You acquired more, but did not become lighter. You did more, but did not know where you were going. Your schedule was full, yet you felt absent from your own life. I invite you to pause and examine whether the things you are accumulating truly serve what you value. Is there a commitment that exists only because you fear disappointing someone? Is there an object you purchased in order to soothe sadness? Is there a goal you are pursuing only to prove something to someone who once looked down upon you? Releasing something that is no longer right may feel like loss, but sometimes it is how you recover space. When your schedule becomes less crowded, you have room to rest and think. When a boundary is placed around an unhealthy relationship, you create room for respect. When you stop chasing recognition, you regain energy to develop what you truly believe in. Emptiness is not always a deficiency. It can become the place where something new is built. Even so, do not destroy everything merely because you are emotional. Make changes with wisdom. A job may be exhausting, but may still need to be kept while you prepare for another direction. A relationship may need an honest conversation and support before you reach a conclusion. A difficult responsibility is not automatically something you should abandon. Learn to distinguish between the discomfort of growth and the damage caused by an unhealthy environment. Discomfort may help you grow, but prolonged harm must be recognized and addressed. If you do not yet know which step to take, begin with honesty. Write down what is exhausting you, what you fear losing, and what you truly desire. Examine whether your words and your way of living agree with each other. Ask someone trustworthy who will not merely tell you what you want to hear. If the issue concerns your physical health, mental well-being, finances, or safety, seek someone with appropriate expertise. Faith does not replace knowledge. Faith gives you enough humility to use the support and resources you need. Forgive those who taught you that success means always standing out, always appearing strong, and never making mistakes. Perhaps they were also living according to the pressure they once received. Forgiveness does not mean allowing those expectations to continue ruling you. You can appreciate the good they gave you and still choose another way of living. You can love your family without repeating every pattern within your family. You can honor the past without giving the past authority over your future. Forgive yourself for the years spent pursuing things that never truly gave you peace. Forgive yourself for sacrificing your health in order to receive recognition, remaining in an unsuitable place because you feared beginning again or hurting other people while trying to prove your worth. Accept responsibility, repair what can be repaired, and learn the lesson. But do not turn regret into endless punishment. You cannot build a new life while continually dragging yourself back into the old courtroom. I am not calling you forward in order to become a louder version of yourself. I am calling you to become a truer version of yourself, someone who knows what is worth pursuing and what can be released. Someone strong enough to say no, yet gentle enough not to demean others. Someone ambitious without using people as tools. Someone able to move forward while still stopping beside a person who needs to be heard. True alignment does not make you distant. It makes you live more consistently with kindness and integrity. Now, if your reflection has shown you one clear thing, choose one action. It does not need to be an action that draws the attention of the entire world. Choose something you can complete and continue doing. Submit an application, reorganize one expense, offer an apology, establish a boundary. Begin studying for 30 minutes each day. Leave a conversation that continually draws you into bitterness. These small decisions are where a calling becomes a way of life. Do not demand immediate results as proof that you chose correctly. A seed does not become a tree on the day it is planted. Some right decisions still carry sorrow. Some healthy boundaries still leave you lonely for a time. Some good beginnings still contain days of doubt. Do not judge the direction only by your immediate feelings, but by the fruit that gradually appears. Are you becoming more honest, more peaceful, more responsible and free? My beloved child, transformation will take away some of your comfort, but it is not intended to take away who you are. It helps you remove the outer layers that are no longer necessary so that what is true can live. Allow fear to have a voice, but not the authority to rule. Allow hope to open your heart, but not to make you deny reality. Keep wisdom beside courage, so that you neither remain still because of fear, nor rush forward because of emotion. Step away now from empty victories that make you visible without allowing you to live truthfully. Release the need to prove yourself to those who misunderstood you. Release competitions that give you nothing except exhaustion. Release bitterness toward those who went before you, and forgive yourself for the choices you once made incorrectly. You do not need to return to the past and repair everything. You need to live differently in the present. Then return to peace. You do not need to run in order to keep pace with a rapidly moving world. You only need to avoid abandoning what is right while everything changes. Be grateful for what you already possess, for the people who sincerely remain beside you, and for your continued ability to learn again. Hold on to the belief that a meaningful life can be built through small things, even when no one applauds. I do not promise that the road will always be easy, but I remind you that difficulty does not automatically mean you are walking in the wrong direction. Let Michael awaken the courage to stand within you, but let my love protect your heart from becoming hardened. You are not called to fight everyone. You are called to overcome the cycles that have kept you living in fear, self-contempt, and dependence upon applause. Keep moving forward, my beloved child, not because every delay is wrong, but because you have recognized what should no longer be postponed. Act without panic, change without despising the past, and advance without stepping upon others. When you live this way, transformation is no longer one loud moment. It becomes a path built through truth, gratitude, forgiveness, and responsibility. Then you will understand that the most important stage does not stand before a crowd. It exists within the choices no one sees, the way you speak to yourself, the way you keep your promises, and the way you treat others when you receive no recognition. The curtain is rising, not so that you can perform as a perfect person, but so that you can stop hiding behind old roles. Step forward as yourself, not yet complete, but sincere. still afraid, yet courageous, still learning, yet willing to change. This is the movement I desire you to choose, not chasing glory, but drawing nearer each day to a peaceful, purposeful life filled with goodness.